and welcome to the NACE Starleague studio. You're joining us on this Monday for some Rocket League action. I'm your host, Jacob Palmer. I am joined by Artemis Ray to call all of the action for you. We have got a trifecta of amazing games for you here tonight. And Artie, these games aren't only going to be entertaining, but they are very, very important tonight. And tell us the significance of where we are in the season.
Well, teams are already looking at being pushed out of the opportunity to go into playoffs, and they have to go into the LCQ just based off their current win-loss records. Well, last week you heard Jacob and I, and week one, stress the importance of going undefeated isn't the end of the world, but you have to make sure you do have some wins in your back pocket. You can't just go on a losing streak, because LCQ is never a situation any team wants to put themselves in. It's extremely difficult to claw your way up from the bottom. Every match is going against the hardest person and the most high-ranked team in comparison to your own. So teams now are fighting for the opportunity to avoid being put into LCQ.
So no pressure whatsoever. Let's take a look at the teams that are facing absolutely no pressure whatsoever today in our three matches. We're going to be starting out with Michigan Tech versus Lubbock Christian. Michigan Tech is the only team that has the luxury of saying they are undefeated. Every single other team has at least one loss, and once you get to 2 or 3 losses, you're looking at not making it to playoffs, as Artie said.
And then we have Mary Washington taking on Maryville. And our last game of the evening is going to be Boise State taking on Southern Miss. Boise State is one of those teams that currently is yet to find a victory in our NACE Starleague thus far. And so they are out of the playoff circuit already.
And I do want to make a quick correction. Maryville actually is undefeated along with Michigan Tech. They just had a match like literally an hour before we started streaming. So they're already in the groove. They're already competing. So we should see them come out of the gate and really give Mary Washington a run for their money. But let's focus on the first match that we have, which is going to be which is going to be Michigan Tech versus Lubbock Christian. We have Tater, Stewie, Grape, and Galaxy Guy from Michigan Tech.
And for the side of Lubbock Christian, we're going to have Process, Schmacked, and Royal rounding out that roster. No subs. Michigan Tech has one extra player. We'll have to see if that plays into their advantage when we hop into the first series tonight.
Fun fact, Lubbock Christian, they are the chaps. And that isn't sort of just like hey, how do you do? You know, my fellow chap here. No, a chap is a type of roadrunner.
What?
I know, yeah. Well, it makes sense for their logo. If you look at it, that is a roadrunner. And a chap is a specific kind of roadrunner.
You learn more every day.
I always like the universities because there are so many universities that just have like the Tigers, the Lions, and of course those are classics. You can't go wrong with them. But I always like the one, like when we saw Wichita State a few weeks ago, they're called the Shocks because it's a shock of grain. And so I love these kind of more offbeat ones. You get to know a little more.
Yeah, very similar when you go down past the college level into like the high school and middle school levels. You know, you get like Knights, Tigers, Lions. Just remember the one most unique one I ever heard was probably the Dragons is one I've heard, as well as the Unicorns, mythical creatures. But you lose out on that when you hit college. You have to get more realistic.
It's all very interesting information, none of which will apply to the actual game that we are about to see. Here we go, Michigan Tech versus Lubbock Christian. I said earlier, this is a very important match because at this stage of the season, get 1 or 2 losses and you are looking at LCQ, which is very sub-up.
We're going to have to find out which team is the fastest and the strongest. Is it going to be the Huskies or what is this?
The Chaps.
The Chaps.
Again, I have to constantly remind because it is just kind of that offbeat. But here we go. We're going to be starting things off tied 0 apiece, it looks like. I'm having to squint my eyes at that yellow. Yes, that is in fact the first goal for Michigan Tech.
We see Process elevates, gets it off the ceiling, unfortunately, not directed forward. And with that, Michigan Tech walks in, finds the first goal of our game.
Next kickoff underway. Grape and Royal both get a touch on it, but Process is going to be the one to come up from behind, put a shot on goal very quickly. It is saved by Michigan Tech. We're going to ring around the Rosie, try to center it up for another one, but Royal isn't able to get a follow-up for that centering. So this is the opportunity for Michigan Tech. Finds the flip reset on the dribble. Shot on goal, saved by Schmacked.
Schmacked is bringing it to midfield. Give and go from Process as there was a double commit for pressure from the defense. Royal takes a shot high left. It is pinched to the crossbar, but the follow-up and demo. I mean, you demo on the keeper. It is going to eventually be beneficial. This one just was in the nick of time. We have Tater cut in, and instead Process hits the ball, hits Tater, and there's no one to stop the ball from rolling in.
We are tied back up 1 minute into this, and these two teams were basically the most evenly matched in terms of record and rank difference, and that 50 goes in favor of Royal. He's going to head back out towards Stewie, who goes for another dribble, finds the flip reset. Can he continue? He gets blocked by Royal and is going to get pushed off to the side. Now Process going to play it up above Grape. Grape rotates back to save. Now has to face off against Schmack. The ball is going to head back over to mid. Shot toward the ground, right into the hands of Lubbock Christian, now trying to find their clear. Pass over to Royal, popped off, but it's a bit too high for the goal to go through. Save will be credited to Michigan Tech, however.
50-50 is pinched towards the ceiling, into the defensive third of Lubbock Christian. Schmack elevates, gets one touch, gets a second. Ball loses a lot of tempo, pinched against up towards the ceiling. 50-50 out of the corner to midfield. Tater tries to corral the ball, can't find it. Pinch on the ground at midfield stripe. Royal is the one to win out possession for a moment. Tater will cut in, is interrupted by Process, who pushes it into the corner. It does lose possession to Grape as well. Stewie off the back wall, flicks the ball forward, brings it to midfield stripe, dunks it off of Royal's car. Royal will elevate, look for an opportunity to give to Process. It's a fake out. Schmack comes in and finds goal number 2 for Lubbock Christian.
He's been extremely explosive both on defense and offense. Great communication by Royal, letting him know of that off angle. Now Lubbock Christian with a slight lead in the proceedings. Going to try to extend that even more. Grape finds the touch after the kickoff. It goes toward the goal. Process. He's trying to save. He is going to be credited with one. It's now going to go over to Schmack. He is able to play it around one, but the defense is still there for Michigan Tech.
Process tries to corral the ball, is interrupted. The give and go from the corner to Tater, and that's another goal for Michigan Tech.
We have one person, actually nobody, as you can see, hanging out on back post, putting Schmack in a very awkward angle to try to save that. So now we are halfway through the game and we're still tied, 2 apiece. Process with pop off his roof, but it's passed over to Tater. Schmack now takes it, and it's going to be stopped in front of Michigan Tech's goal.
Process pushes the ball into the corner. Schmack is there but can't make contact. Royal comes in from the midfield stripe. Unfortunately can't get into play fast enough, and now the ball is going to be at midfield. Stewie brings it into the corner, plays it off the wall. Process snags it off the ground, bounces it off the wall to himself, gets it past Grape, cannot get it past Tater. Tater now pushing forward, crossing midfield stripe, gets around Royal, is in the corner, gets demoed, and Schmack is with possession off the back wall.
Right into the side of the field. Royal with a pass over to Process, but Schmack also commits on it, but they still manage to find a follow-up. It is saved from Michigan Tech. But Royal again, just an unexpected shot. No one was expecting yet another follow-up.
You see Schmack pinches it towards the goal.
Oh,
Royal
beautiful.
almost parallel with that back wall, still gets the angle right to find the back of the net, putting Lubbock Christian in the lead by 1, but they need an extra goal to make sure they're in a comfortable leading position.
Ball off the backboard. Royal, and it's going to pass over to Process. Stop the follow-up from Michigan Tech. Now the ball back over toward the yellow goal. Schmack to center it up. There's a whole bunch of Michigan Tech bunched around the front post of the goal. Double commit leads to Process following up, and the Chaps are in a 2-goal lead.
They needed an extra goal to make sure they were comfortably in the lead, and they found it very fast after their 3rd goal. Now the question is, can they remain in the lead? As there's still roughly a minute and 20 seconds remaining. 2 goals in that time for Michigan Tech. Definitely in the cards. So the question is, can they draw them off of the kickoff? Ball ends up on the side of Lubbock Christian. Schmack will bring it forward, played off the back wall. Looks like Royal's going to be there for the follow-up. Grape gets a touch just in time, hits the top crossbar. Schmack takes another shot. It's going to get saved again. Ball goes to midfield stripe. Process with the midfield control, gets a touch, it goes too high. Stewie capitalizes on the lack of control from Lubbock Christian. Ball goes back towards midfield. It's going to be Tater and Schmack. Who's going to make first contact? It's going to be Schmack off the back wall. It's going to go above the top crossbar. Tater with possession, 2-on-1. Now 2 of the Michigan Tech members are demoed. It's Stewie versus the world right now. Tries to do the coast-to-coast play. The nosedive doesn't work out. Ball's back at mid. Tater sends the ball over to Stewie, but instead it's Process with possession.
There's just half a minute left. Michigan Tech needs to come alive. Get a goal right here, right now. Nice redirect, and it's gonna score! Stewie brings Michigan Tech within one. Have to see it because the camera angle doesn't give us the... Oh, there's a bump right into Royal, unfortunately.
I think Grape made contact with Process, too.
A little bit of coordination mishaps put Michigan Tech back into the game, and Grape's going to try to dribble again right off the kickoff. There's double commit in the air by the Chaps to try to save it. Just 20 seconds left. Michigan Tech's trying to put this into overtime.
Ball's gliding across the ceiling. It's going to be an elevation off the wall from Grape. Grape gets a touch, dunks it down. It goes to Royal instead. Stewie saves Royal's shot, pops it up over Process. Michigan Tech has 4 seconds to find a goal. Stewie's looking for it. Tater's looking for it. Ball hits the ground, and that is Lubbock Christian walking away with the Game 1 victory.
That is just by the skin of your teeth. The Chaps double commit on the save, though with 1 second left, that was the save that they needed to get. Both these teams showing, I mean, we have been seeing some great air dribbles and acrobatics, a lot of successful flip resets gotten off of the ball while they're dribbling it. But I have to say, I will say I see one weakness that kind of applies equally to both teams. I think the rotations can be cleaned up a little more. I'm seeing too many instances where like there's 2 on the front post, but no one on the back.
Yeah, and I think it was definitely starting to get cleaned up by Lubbock Christian a little bit more because we did see more midfield control coming out from Lubbock Christian. So with that being said, there's, in those rotations, you have to understand who's at midfield, how much pressure can you apply from the midfield. Are you going to start inking forward into the enemy territory? Are you going to stay there? Are you going to start backing off closer to your defensive third? It's all up to how you're feeling this play is going to go and playing that prediction and understanding that you need to be forcing a reaction of the enemy team. You don't want to be the one reacting to what they're doing. It looked like Lubbock Christian started to figure that out near the end.
Good rotations are so important, and when a team really gets them down, you almost don't notice it. You kind of just instinctively expect someone should be rotating now. And then just right as you're thinking it, someone comes right out of the corner of the frame, gets the save that they need. It really just becomes a whole rhythm and a groove that teams get into that's almost second nature once you really dial it down.
There we can see we have the teams loaded in and ready to go. Clock is counting down, and this is kickoff 1 for game number 2. Currently, Lubbock Christian in this series has the first victory in their pocket. They're looking for 2 more to send away Michigan Tech early and close out this best of 5 in 3 games. As we have Schmacked elevate, but Process grabs the ball first. We are in Lubbock Christian's defensive third. Royal gets demoed by Michigan Tech. Pinch from Grape to Tater. Stewie interrupts a double commit from the offense from midfield, goes unpunished. Royal out of the corner, plays it around 1, and leaves it for Schmack to play it off the wall.
Process now takes the play. Tater is going to be able to get a touch on it. It's going to head over towards Stewie, plays above 2 Chaps, and now pass Process. This could be an open goal if they can't get back soon enough. Process manages to buy the Chaps enough time. Pass over towards Schmack, back over toward Michigan Tech's goal. Follow up by Schmack. Stewie just beats him to the punch, pushes it off to the side of the field, but follow up by Royal, who reads it beautifully.
Ball was pitched towards the ceiling as it begins to drop down. Process centers it up. Tater and Grape see that the ball is going to be heading towards the net again. Try to close it off. Can't make it there in time. Lubbock Christian with the first goal.
That one taking a little bit longer than it did last game. This one took about a full minute before the first goal was scored. Now surveying the situation, manages to play around 1, and a demo in midfield leaves it wide open for him. There's just one goalie right up into the crossbar, and that drive is going to be stopped. LCU try to scope out their next play unless Tater takes it away from them. Schmacked off the ceiling, pass over to Royal, now over to Process, but it's a bit too far forward, and Stewie intercepts it. He's now going to try to play back and even this up.
Process battling out for possession in the corner, gets demoed. Royal pops the ball up, elevates, gets the second touch. It's flicked towards the ceiling by Tater, who makes a save, plays it to midfield stripe. Back into the defensive third for Lubbock Christian. Process off the back wall, sends it to Royal. Royal gets it over Tater, but the angle sent it back into their defensive third. Elevation from Royal at midfield, sends to Process. Process takes the shot. It's read by Tater, who makes a save, sending it to the side. Schmack with possession, has it stolen by Tater, who seems to be going all over the place to have Mach 12 right now to make sure that Lubbock Christian's having the most difficult time to find an open goal. Shot on goal from Schmacht is also saved, as is Royals.
Lubbock Christian now drives it up the center. Unable to keep it away from Tater and Grape, however, they're going to push it off to the side. Royal and now Schmacht with a shot toward the goal, but there's no one left far back enough on the field to follow up. Tater now drives it back toward blue territory, centers it, but Schmacht is right there to push it off to the side before the shot on goal can go through. He's now just going to take this all the way back over toward Michigan Tech.
Schmacht gives the ball to Process. Process has Royal. Royal cuts in, takes the shot. It hits the post, and it looks like Tater will be the one with possession. Challenged by Schmacht. Ball's pinched into the corner. It's in the air above the goal. Two defenders are in place. Stewie will be the one to make contact. Elevation from Royal stops the momentum of the ball. Process elevates, has to get it over Tater. Cannot as the ball dies down near the defensive third for Michigan Tech. We have Schmacht make contact yet again. Plays it off the back wall to himself. Looks to give to Royal, but Stewie will manage to back up, make contact. Process gets a few touches, but Grape ultimately sends it to the midfield stripe. Royal sends the ball towards the ceiling to Schmacht. Double commit from the defense of Michigan Tech. We have Royal play the ball towards the goal. It's going to be cleared to midfield stripe. Process elevates from midfield again, challenged by Tater. Process has Schmacht, as we do see Royal has demoed one of the Michigan Tech players. Process brings the ball into the corner, pinched off by Stewie. Schmacht in the air. Off the back wall, the defenders did not make contact. Stewie decides to demo Process, and it looks like Tater's going to try to get it past two defenders at the midfield. Can't find it. Stewie loses possession. Schmacht off the back wall. It ends up with Grape and goes to midfield stripe.
1 minute left in this match. The Huskies still have yet to score. Process going to take it up the side. Schmacht and Royal hanging back on the field. Royal takes a shot, a pass over to Process. He's going to push it up into the backboard. Can they spike it down? Double commit on the shot. They'll share the glory and drive their lead up to 2 with less than a minute.
Process with just a slight touch, and Royal and Schmacht are like, I got it. No, I got it. According to the game, I'm pretty sure it was Schmacht who got accredited with that goal. But I mean, at the end of the day, everyone is taking a grotesque, in a good way, amount of shots coming from the side of Lubbock Christian. Michigan Tech is struggling to find a foothold here in game number 2 as we're dwindling down to the last 40 seconds, and they still have yet to find a goal.
It would have to be a complete reversal from how things have been going so far. Another shot placed on goal by Lubbock Christian. The Huskies have just but one shot that they've managed to place onto the Chaps' goal.
Schmacht in the air is disrupted by Tater. Pinched towards midfield. Stewie will play it around 1. Can Stewie get it past the other two? Unfortunately not. Schmacht sends the ball to midfield stripe. Grape will stop it. Schmacht off the rebound, sends it. Fortunately, it takes another ricochet back to the defensive third for Lubbock Christian. Royal dunks it down. Grape off the hood, elevates. It's a double commit from Michigan Tech on the offense. Schmacht capitalizes. Elevation from Stewie stops the ball on its course to the back of the net. We have a demo. Ball hits the ground, and that's Lubbock Christian walking away with a Game 2 victory and putting themselves at series point.
I mean, things just fell completely apart for the Huskies. You see only 2 shots on goal, and none of them really even that close to the goal. They're like back from mid, one back from mid, and they're both way off to the side, so it was more kind of a coincidence that they managed to head back over the Chaps' goal. So definitely something to clean up, but maybe the start of a reverse sweep. Both these teams, I need to stress again, equal in ranks, very equal in win-loss record. They both have the capacity to fight against each other.
I think right now Michigan Tech is overcompensating for the rotation issues that we saw in game 1. In this game, we saw there was a lot of chaos happening. Some teams thrive in it, but if you're not communicating at the end of the day, it can make it very difficult for your team to understand what you're wanting to do. It seemed like a lot of plays, it was Tater constantly doing everything, which is great, but it's a double-edged sword. If one person's trying to disrupt everything, someone needs to be there to start setting up and facilitating the plays. You can't be controlling mid, back, and forward on the field all at once.
All right, we're going to head into the match point. The Chaps looking to sweep this against the Huskies. Definitely improve their chances going forward to making it to the playoffs. I do believe, let me just check my records here again. Just making sure I have all of the numbers correct. Yeah, Lubbock Christian needs this win more, actually, than Michigan Tech. Michigan Tech's undefeated, and as we said, you can probably afford 1 loss, but 2 or more, you could be out of the playoffs. So this would be a huge win for the Chaps if they get it.
So what you're saying is that Lubbock Christian, they have a fire in their belly right now, and Michigan Tech is struggling to stamp out that fire because it's been a nonstop onslaught currently from Lubbock Christian into Michigan Tech. We have Stewie bring the ball down. Royal reads it off the ground. Challenged by Great Process. Kind of stops Great's progression at the midfield. It's going to mean Tater pulling forward with the elevation, takes the shot, but the defenders went out of the way, so Schmack will make the save. Royal with this challenge to Stewie. Stewie dunks the ball down. No one's there just yet. It was supposed to be Great, but Process beat him to the punch. Now going into the defensive third for Michigan Tech. Lubbock Christian's looking for an opportunity. Stolen away by Stewie. Plays it off the wall to Taters. Now at the forward post, looking for a give and go, but the ball's in the defensive third again for Michigan Tech.
Ball way back over in Chaps territory. They keep trying to pressure, but Process gets a great play off of the wall. Puts it all the way back over. Tater now looking for his player. Can Schmack stop him? Yes, he can. The ball is centered. There's 2 on it, however, so a slow play from Lubbock Christian. Still trying to find the right scenario for putting a shot on goal like this. Schmack tries to put a shot on goal. The angle just doesn't go through, and now this huge counterattack by the Huskies. It's going to get blocked by Process, who then gets a demo. He can't be stopped. He goes for the flip reset, and it's set up for a shot on goal. Can Royal get to it? He doesn't have enough momentum, however.
Royal tries to set up another play. Schmacked. I looked as though he was unprepared, so the ball goes back to mid. Royal's going to be there, pops it up. Tater slowing down, taking a little bit of time, allows Stewie to come in, play it off the corner. Stewie tries to flick it to a teammate. It ends up with Grave, and an unfortunate angle to Tater with the shot on goal from Schmack. Does get saved. Ball back in the corner. Still in Michigan Tech's defensive third. It's going to be given to Tater at midfield. Interrupted by Royal again. Grape outplays, manages to maintain possession, brings it to midfield, plays it off the corner. They're all very flat to each other. Stewie inks forward just enough to make contact, plays it off the back wall, is saved by Schmack. It's back to the midfield stripe. Process has Grape creating pressure, as well as Tater. Ball is going to be sent across midfield. Schmack will volley it right back. Stewie plays it off the ceiling, can't continue to control the ball. It's dropped down in front of Michigan Tech's net.
Back over towards Schmack. We've gone the half of game 3 with no goal having been scored, but a lot of exciting attempts. I almost kind of see an inverse of the shots on goal that we saw in game 2. Michigan Tech has been the one pressuring more. Lubbock Christian has been having to settle for a lot of saves, just like that one. Royal's going to get a touch on it, leave it for Process. Now moving in, Schmack taking it into the corner, trying to redirect. Does manage to somewhat center it, but Tater gets the touch on it. The rest of Lubbock Christian are way off to the side. And Michigan Tech uses that to their advantage.
Look at this angle from Tater. This is the geometry gods coming in and saying, you deserve this, because wow. Top crossbar, almost flat, but had just enough of a curve to get fully into the net.
Ball pushed off to the side. Off the kickoff, Michigan Tech looking for their follow-up play, but Schmack has it, pushing it toward the goal. Can there be the follow-up from Royal? He's going to get pushed off to the side. Now Process comes in. Schmack's trying to look for the shot on goal. Process back over to Royal. He spikes it down, and we got a tied game again.
You've seen a lot of patience coming out from the side of Lubbock Christian, especially in this third game. You mentioned it early on. We haven't seen a goal yet. It was a little strange. Roughly got one in a minute. Last 2 games. Lubbock Christian finally went on the counterattack, equalizing us. Minute 45 left. Takes 2 from both sides for this ball to decide what direction it wants to go. It's going to be Stewie bringing it down. Has Process and Royal in for the challenge. Double commit from defense might be a bad play as Schmack ends up getting demoed. We have Tater try to bring it down on the ground. Cannot maintain possession. Process off the wall to himself. Plays it to the back wall. It's going to be disrupted by Michigan Tech. Grave now with possession, has Schmack right in the front of him, does not manage to pop the ball up over Schmack. Schmack now looking to play this ball away from Stewie, plays it off the back wall, Process comes in, doesn't make it there in time. Ball is going to be saved, sent back to midfield stripe with Schmack yet again. Manages to find a soft reset, does not continue the opportunity. Instead, Royal looking for a chance now to set up a goal scoring opportunity for their team. Going to be stopped by Stewie. All 3 members of Michigan Tech are bunched up in front of the goal. They find the save, but they don't find a clear, and they need to get this ball out of their territory. 50 seconds remaining, we're tied. Basically a 0-0 game. You cannot let Process stay in the air this long. Process with a flip reset. On the nose, saved by Stewie. All 3 members of Michigan Tech were in the air, but no one went after Tater if you're looking for Lubbock Christian to make a play.
Schmacht also trying to make a play, flying some flag reset.
Oh!
Plays it around and gets Lubbock Christian into the lead with half a minute left.
This is actually quite pretty. So reset on the nose. Yeah, that got it up over the last defender that was there. Nicely done.
The Chaps just need to hold out for 30 more seconds, and they will have secured a much-needed victory in their season process, trying to make it an even wider victory. He gets pushed off to the side. Now Royal and Schmacht coming in. Royal gets a touch on it off the backboard. Follow-up is not going to be gotten from the Chaps. They're just going to wait, see how this plays out, try to play a bit more defensively. 10 seconds left, and the ball is right in front of their goal, and it just trickles off to the corner. Not a moment too soon. Last chance for the Huskies. They need to keep it up in the air, try to find a buzzer beater, just ground it for the Chaps, and you have won this 3-0. Amazing performance by LCU.
And you can just see the sheer amount of shots on goal taken by Lubbock Christian during game number 3. It seemed like it took a while for them to finally figure out what they wanted to do, but once that first goal was scored for Michigan Tech, they said, no, we need to close this game out and close it out now, and they did that successfully.
Well, we just want to give a thank you to our sponsors right now who have been helping us bring this overall presentation to you. We want to give a shout out to Extra Life, who actually had their webinar today, Monday, September 25th. You got to hear from College Esports Club with fundraising experience and find out how you can help raise funds for the local Children's Miracle Network hospital. So thank you to everyone participating in that, for supporting Extra Lives, to play games, to change kids' lives, and overall just do a lot of good work in the process. Well, the game is over, but you do not want to leave us because we have a lot of exciting post-game content. And we have an interview, which is kind of the core of our post-game contact, with Royal from Lubbock Christian. Of course, we want to talk with the team that pulled off that exciting win, so we'll take a very short break, but be back around the corner with the interview in a few minutes.
Person's trying to disrupt everything. Someone needs to be there to start setting up and facilitating the plays. You can't be controlling mid, back, and forward on the field all at once.
Half a minute left. Michigan Tech needs to come alive. Get a goal right here, right now. Nice redirect, and it's going to score. Stewie brings Michigan Tech within 1. Still there for Michigan Tech.
Process tries to corral the ball, is interrupted. The give and go from the corner to Tater, and that's another goal for Michigan Tech.
We have one person, actually nobody, as you can see, hanging out on back post, but he still managed to find a follow-up. It is safe from Michigan Tech. But Royal, again, just an unexpected shot. No one was expecting yet another follow-up.
You see Schmacht pinches it towards the goal. Royal almost parallel with that back wall. Still gets the angle right to find the back of the net.
Pass over to Process. He's going to push it up into the backboard. Can they spike it down? Double commit on the shot. They'll share the glory and drive their lead up to 2 with less than a minute.
Process with just a slight touch, and Royal and Schmacht are like, I got it. No, I got it. According to the game, I'm pretty sure it was Schmacht who got it.
Schmacht taking it into the corner, trying to redirect. Does manage to somewhat center it, but Tater gets the touch on it. The rest of Lubbock Christian are way off to the side. And Michigan Tech uses that to their advantage.
Look at this angle from Tater. This is the geometry gods coming in and saying, you deserve this, because wow. Gets the second touch. It's flicked towards the ceiling by Tater. Trying to find an open goal. Shot on goal from Schmacht is also saved, as is Royal.
They'll share the glory and drive their lead up to the angle. Welcome back to the NACE Starleague studio, and we are here with one of the players from the game that we just saw. From Lubbock Christian University, the Chaps. We're talking with Royal, who scored a very impressive win against the Huskies, against Michigan Tech. So we just want to get right into the interview and talk with the victor. I'm your host, Jacob Palmer, joined by Artemis Rain. We are going to be having a quick interview with this fella before we get to our next match. Hello there, Royal. How are you doing? Thanks for joining us. Looks like we might just have a slight audio issue right now. Always just gonna...
Uh-oh. I know you're saying something, but I cannot read lips, and I apologize.
All right, we'll try to get all of this ironed out because, again, this was a very exciting match, but, you know, just the nature of a live event.
I'm trying to see if production's also trying to send me a message via ESP right now. I feel like I'm Merlin in that scene in Finding Nemo where it's like, I feel like he's trying to say something to me, but I just don't understand.
I get that.
It's not you. Technical problems always happen.
Mm-hmm. He's still with us, though. He's still trying to troubleshoot everything. To center it up. There's a whole bunch of Michigan Tech bunched around the front post of the goal. Double commit leads to process following up, and the Chaps are in a 2-goal lead.
They needed an extra goal to make sure they were comfortably in the lead, and they found it very fast after their third goal. Now the question is, can they remain?
Half a minute left. Michigan Tech needs to come alive. Get a goal right here, right now. Nice redirect, and it's going to score. Stewie brings Michigan Tech within 1. See, because the camera angle doesn't give us the... Oh, there's a bump right into Royal, unfortunately.
I think Great made...
Smacked back over toward Michigan Tech's goal. Follow up by Schmack. Stewie just beats him to the punch, pushes it off to the side of the field, but follow up by Royal, who reads it beautifully.
Ball was pitched towards the ceiling as it begins the drop-down process. Centers it up. Tater and Graves see that the ball is going to be heading towards the net.
Pass over to Process. He's going to push it up into the backboard. Can they spike it down? Double commit on the shot. They'll share the glory and drive their lead up to 2 with less than a minute.
Process with just a slight touch, and Royal and Schmack, they're like, I got it. No, I got it. According to the game, I'm pretty sure it was Schmack who got it.
Schmack taking it into the corner, trying to redirect. Does manage to somewhat center it, but Tater gets the touch on it. The rest of Lubbock Christian are way off to the side. And Michigan Tech uses that to their advantage.
Look at this angle from Tater. This is the geometry gods coming in and saying, you deserve this, because wow.
Now Process comes in. Schmack trying to look for the shot on goal. Process back over to Royal. He spikes it down. And we got a tied game again.
You've seen a lot of patience coming out from the side of Lubbock Christian, especially in this third game. You mentioned it early on. We haven't seen a goal yet. It was a little strange. Roughly if you're looking for Lubbock Christian to make a play.
Schmack also trying to make a play, finds some flick reset, plays it around and gets Lubbock Christian into the lead with half a minute left.
This was actually quite pretty. Flip reset, on the nose. Yeah, that got it up over the last defender that was there.
won't you come over? Dying to know where you came from. We're breaking open. Feel like our future's just begun. And all I know is that we lost time. If we stay right here, we could free ourselves inside. We'll stay awake forever. We'll hide away when no one knows. Let's run away together. Just lead me into your world. We'll stay awake forever. We'll hide away when no one knows. Let's run away together on our own.
Welcome back to the NACE Starleague studio. Our Rocket League day rolls on into the next match. University of Mary Washington going up against Maryville. I'm your host, Jacob Palmer. I'm joined by Colin Junkin, calling all of the action for you here today. And Colin, just talking about the match that we have, the Eagles versus the Saints. Tell us just, sometimes you just need to not sugarcoat it and really lay out plainly when you got a really good team you're going up against.
Oh yeah, especially talking anything about Maryville. We talk about teams that are stacked. Just in general, we talk about Mizzou, we talk about Ole Miss. We have a lot of stacked teams that we're going against here that have some pretty good records going forward. And we talk about Maryville. It's one of those teams that is still standing that undefeated. They did take a bye in the first week, but they still stand as one of those teams that has faced solid opponents so far and have taken the victory. Whereas we have the Eagles, Mary, that is 2-1 right now, which is not necessarily a bad thing, but Maryville at this moment has that slight advantage, if you so want to speak here. But we saw that 3-0 from last game. I'm not showing my cards yet in terms of what I think.
Well, Maryville did have a bye in the first week. That's why they're 2-0. Meanwhile, Mary Washington is 2-1. And we were talking about at this stage in the game, you don't want to get much past 2 losses. So huge stakes for the Eagles. There was also huge stakes in game 1, Michigan Tech versus Lubbock Christian. We saw the Chaps win that one 3-0. So now we'll see how this second game plays out. Before we get to the third game, Boise State versus a Southern Miss. What I will call the redemption game for both of those teams, but we'll get to that a little bit later. Right now we got to focus on Eagles versus the Saints. And not only in terms of the competitive advantage, but also the competitive record that these teams have had. Maryville especially just has so many good players on their team.
Yeah, I think they have a stacked roster of all SSLs, if it's just off the top of my head, which could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's the case. And just Maryville in and of itself has been a pretty long-standing university and being one of those D1 names that you talk about when you bring up that conversation in terms of what are the schools that you need to look out for. And more often than not, Maryville is one of those names you bring up.
And that's been one thing that's made this season so exciting is the fact that NACE has been matching Division I schools up against Division I schools. Yep. So we're getting a lot more exciting, close gameplay in this Premier Varsity. In the Premier Varsity Division. Right now we're going to get into the second game of the day. Eagles versus Saints. Hopping down to the virtual field. Mary Washington needing this victory very much to keep their chances of going to the playoffs alive. We're going to see off the first kickoff. Stealth is going to center it. Follow up by Calix. Not going to find it. Tudu pushes it back over toward Maryville's goal. See if Maryville can recover.
It's a good pass by Knight right there into the midfield. A possible good read from the slam down the ceiling. Wasn't going to work out. Tudu got a touch onto the side. Oh, and a shot on net by Crazy. He's going to barely elude the Maryville defender. And that's going to put Mary University up 1-0 pretty early into the game.
You know, you think when we talk about what a great school or how competitive Maryville can be, it's not that we want to discount Mary Washington, it's because we love seeing possible comeback games for a team that really needs it in their win-loss record to stand up to the Goliaths in the esports scene. And the Eagles, Mary Washington, are off to a good start so far, but Maryville is not going to go easy. A shot on goal by Stealth is going to turn into the equalizer.
Beautiful position right there, just sitting pretty, waiting for the perfect shot. Gets it top bins. That's something you can't really scoff at either. Starting off, second kickoff, third kickoff actually of the game. Stealth's going to take control. Calix now has it. Gets a good 50, gets up the ceiling. Knight is elevated off the backboard, looking for Stealth. Stealth is on the back rotation, but quite a bit. Take that back, no room to work with. Is a touch going to be there? The 50 past one of them. Knight gonna get a bit of a ground musty flick. Stealth is elevated, gets one touch on the backboard. Might be looking for the read, gets the double, and Maryville is up 2-1.
Just insane ability. I mean, you know that those are the type of shots that you just drill over and over in practice. You just keep resetting. Try 337. Okay, we got to reset again. And hey, all that practice certainly pays off. Maryville now in the lead, 2-1.
Oh, believe me, players sit in free play for hours focusing those shots. If there's a player base that I know that is more determined to get a singular shot down, it is Rocket League. The mechanics are there for most of the players that are in the NACE Varsity Premier. Knight not going for an air dribble, opts to go for the double off the backward, gets a pinch, sends it down, with Stealth a bit over-rotated, wasn't in the correct position here. But now Stealth trying to do it again off the ceiling. Nobody elevates on the side of Mary Washington. Maryville, 3-1 now. They've really activated in this past 40-ish seconds of the game.
They started off a little slow, but they have sure made up for it. We're not even halfway through, and Maryville has gone on a tear with 3 goals. Stealth being the main one contributing to all those goals, sitting on a possible hat trick. Should he get another, that 50 is going to go in favor of Maryville. They get even more territory brought back toward the Eagles. Eagles going to get a huge bomber of a clear. But it doesn't last long. Pass to Calix, a little bit too high for Knight to get it. That ball's going to have to go back over to the corner. Stealth tries to set it up. Hikari blocking him. Now we're in the corner. Calix trying to center. He's blocked yet again. Knight carrying it toward the goal. It has to be saved here. It's just going to go off to the other corner, however.
Calix now off the sidewall. Knight trying to get a free flip touch. Wasn't able to do it. Crazy elevated. Is not able to get the touch. Ooh, get into defense. Knight with a little bit of self-touch, centering the ball themselves. Crazy's going to get a touch off the backboard. Might be looking for a teammate. Not able to get it, though. Knight elevates, gets one touch into the blue corner. Probably say that name, though, but Ma2 is what I'm going to go with. Calix off the sidewall, going to get a touch off the ceiling. Knight to get a shot onto the goal. Crazy elevates just in time to get a touch. Ma2 gets a second one to get it over another. Mary Washington doesn't maintain possession for very long. There's Calix in midfield. Got to put another shot, put another goal on the board.
Now things really breaking in favor of Maryville. Mary Washington's going to find themselves pushed up too far on field, leaving the goal wide open for Maryville to score. We have 2 minutes left in this match, and everything has been all Maryville. The one goal that Mary Washington got was the only shot they had on goal.
Been a little bit rough to find the footing so far, but Montu the Crazy now has to go for the backboard. Gets a bad pinch there. He's going to send it to the red side for the Saints. Knight goes up, gets one touch. Calix goes up, gets the pass over Stealth. Stealth tries to get a pre-flip. Even though Stealth is not able to get the pre-flip touch, nevertheless, the ball goes in the back of the net. Now up 4-1, I believe.
Hikari read it, and he was racing as fast as he could. He just couldn't make it in time.
Correction, 5-1.
Demo off the kickoff. Matudu's going to be sent back to start. Stealth with the redirect. Oh, almost gets the shot on goal yet again. It was just too severe an angle to get it into the goal. We have a minute and a half left. Knight's going to try to set up another one. It's saved, and a huge bomber back to the Saints goal. Matudu with the follow-up. Placed into the upper left corner, 2 commit on it from the Saints, and Maryville stays in the lead. Knight tries to take it back, pass to Kari, who pushes it off to the side, credited with the save. Calix now looking for another centering shot over towards Stealth, finds the shot on goal, and Akari gets another save.
Kari underneath the ball, trying to get a touch, trying to follow. Now finds himself in the back wire here. Knight now taking possession, might be looking for a pinch with Stealth, is able to get it. Stealth's on the ball, looking for a double, not able to get it. Stealth is up, trying to get the pass down. Knight elevated as well, but just not able to get it.
Stealth pushing the ball back across mid. Just too little time, I'm thinking, to make up that severe a goal deficit. Mary Washington will just have to reset their mentals and head on into game 2. Calix going to block that potential clear. Tutu gets a shot and gets demoed almost immediately afterwards. Knight, Stealth takes it from Knight. Shot up center by Mary Washington. That just might be all that they're able to pull off. It's just 10 seconds left. Knight is eliminated. Off the respawn, though, he's back in force. Calix pushes it off to the side, and that is going to do it. Maryville winning that first game 5-1. It's a huge differential in shots on goal, especially in terms of the location. One of those shots on goal from Mary Washington was actually a clear that they made way back on the field. So in terms of side control, I mean, I don't know if you could get, more in favor of one team than we just saw there.
No, yeah, you really can't in terms of the level of dominance that they showed throughout the entirety of that game. And it's so difficult for the side of Mary University to compete with something like that because of just, you look at the way they played that game. They were meticulous in nearly everything they did. Everything was calculated. Their touches were quality. Their passing was quality. They were confident in everything, in nearly everything they were doing. And it's just one of those situations where you play a team like that, you also have to play that same level of near perfection. Like, your boost manager has to be there. Your touches have to be there. When you go to the ball, it has to be with a purpose. And when you do go to the ball for a touch, you have to get it as well.
All right, let's head into game 2 as Maryville is cruising right toward a possible sweep. But we'll see if Mary Washington can't fight back in game 2. Eagles versus Saints. Saints lead 1-0 as we head down to the first kickoff of the second game. You see the players loaded in there. They're ready to go. Here we're off to the races yet again. Maryville, that's a great cheat by Calix. Pushes a shot toward the goal, and a shot by Knight quickly after. Tutu is credited with the save, but already Maryville, the Saints, are just pressuring Mary Washington. Possible opportunity for shot on goal here. Calix, it does manage to find the save, however. So the one goalie when Maryville needed it came through.
Oh, just barely off the crossbar there. Oh, a bit of a double commit there. Calix going to bump Stealth off the ball, get a pinch, but Knight was in the perfect position to read it. Now going for the double. The pass into the midfield is going to be able to get a demo, though. But Calix is not able to do much else with it. Akari elevates, only good for one touch. Knight now up, looking for the air dribble, gets the flip reset. Calix tries to make up some ground, not able to get to it though as well. Now Stealth, time to sign, gets the reset off the ceiling, going for the ceiling touch. Oh, and the defense not able to get the quality clear. And they're going to pay for it with an own goal.
You can see here the double commit that came through the save. That's a mix of awkward positioning and not quite enough boost by the time that shot was done. Mary Washington expended just about everything they had in terms of boost, so they're running low on the resources they need to make these flashy plays. We'll see if they can do better off this next kickoff, but a quick shot by Knight almost puts Maryville into an even more severe lead. Stealth is going to try yet again to just spike it down. They're really favoring those kind of dunks right into the goal. Seems to be their modus operandi for the Saints.
Love the terminology. Knight now going, takes a bit of a shot. It's a bit wide though. Stealth was also cheating. Stealth is going to bump Knight out of the way here. Crazy, not able to get a touch. Akari gets one to make up for it though. Knight on it quickly. The sidewall recovery was there. Stealth now trying to get a second touch off the backboard. Was able to do it. Bit of a double commit. Now a tough read off the sidewall. Calix able to make it. Knight elevates with Matu, not able to to give a touch as well, but Stealth was able to make it for on the sidewall. Hikari now maintaining possession and control, trying to get a 50. Knight's going to be able to get a beat. See Stealth on the sidewall. Stealth off the backboard, trying to hit Knight. Was able to get there. The shot placement just wasn't there quite yet.
Alex, a back pass over towards Stealth. Touch it. Mary Washington tries to meet him in the air. The ball goes off to the side. Hikari tries to place a clear. Gets blocked by Callis in midfield. Matudu elevates up, gets a touch on it. Question is, can they keep the play going? Hikari, pass over to Crazy. Back to Matudu. Hikari tries to put it on the goal. He's going to find it. We are tied up now. Eagles have matched the Saints. This was a great play right here. Just Maryville positioned a bit too far forward, Stealth a bit too far back on that rotation, isn't able to get to it in time. That's the comeback I want to see.
Got the kickoff. Calix now over the Knight. Knight now has a lot of room to work with, though. This could end up being a 2-1 game. Gets it over one. Oh, but the pinch with Stealth was a bit uncalculated. And now Mod2 and Crazy have the advantage. Crazy doesn't get the shot they're looking for, though. And Stealth now getting one off the sidewall. Gets a touch. Knight now elevates. Opts not to go for it. Gives the ball down to Calix. Calix gets over one. Mod2 elevates and is able to play some good defense there. Now Crazy gets it past one. Gets 100 boost. Steals it from the side. Knight's able to recover, though, and might be able to take this all the way.
Doesn't find it, is going to be pushed back into the corner. Stealth with the pass to Knight. Shot into the upper left corner of the goal. Maryville is back in the lead. 2 goals in their pocket. We have 2 minutes left in this fight. It's just that great aerial play by Maryville that really hasn't been matched throughout this game. Is really just allowing them to sail through. Knight already has 5 shots on goal all to himself.
And only 2 goals on the board as well. So, I mean, that immediately tells me just the defensive capability from Mary Washington has improved dramatically from game 1 to game 2. Calix has a shot. Crazy is in back post position. They will play it correctly. Matu is going to make a good read as well. Now get a boom to the red side here. This might be the opportunity for them. Hikari elevates, gets a good shot, but it's just a bit wide and not able to convert on it, though. But Crazy gets a great touch. They might be able to recover in time. They're not able to.
Oh, wow.
The defense from Maryville is going to come out strong and make sure that ball is not contested.
A whole lot of people in the air doing acrobatics. Matudu places a huge bomber back over toward the Saints goal. We have a little over a minute left in game 2. Matudu trying to push it around the corner. Tries to push it. Crazy finds the goal, and we are tied 2 apiece with a minute left.
That's exactly what I want to see from Mary Washington right now. The fight there is great. A double commit from the side of Maryville, that's one of those things where they have got to, they've been doing it all series so far. That's something that's got to be rectified right now, because if they don't, Mary Washington's already showing a little bit of improvement by themselves. It's not going to be a 5-1 game like it was in game 1. They are here to win, and they're here to fight. But Calix might be saying, no to that. We're going to shut it down and make it 3-2 with 56 seconds left.
Maryville is not going to let this victory come easy. Mary Washington has to find their 3rd equalizer, but they have plenty of time to do it. A minute, plenty of time to make a goal. Calix has been great on these cheats off the kickoff, however, takes another shot toward the goal. Knight with the follow-up save by Matudu. That just makes the 3rd save for him today. It's been a really good shot. It's been a really good day for him in terms of defense. And it's going to head back over toward Mary Washington. Stealth taking another shot toward the goal. Crazy gets 1 touch. Hikari elevates up, but Knight beats him to the punch. It's been mid-air all Maryville as far as that gameplay is concerned.
Knight, get a backflip, flip to Stealth. Stealth now at the backboard looking for a touchdown. Gets it. Unable to get the shot on net, though. But a beautiful shot nonetheless. Knight now trying to recover a bit. Crazy is up, trying to get the ball into the corner here. They're down 1 goal here. Knight gets a bit of a pinch of the ceiling, trying to put the last nail in the coffin. They might not have to. There's a whole lot of possession right now. Mary Washington gets 1 last touch. It's going to touch the ground, and that's going to be Maryville taking game number 2.
But you look at the differential in shots on goal here. I mean, it's 5. It is 5 to, I mean, Knight has just been able to beat has been able to beat Mary Washington in shots on goal all by himself, but you touched on it, Colin, the defense for the Eagles has been so good. It's leading to these very close games, only decided by one goal.
Yeah, and it's such a change. That's what I see with a lot of these teams in NACE so far. I feel like every time I've seen a game one blowout, it ends up resulting in somebody on the team that took that L making that call of, hey, let's swap it up, or maybe it's everybody, or it's 2 or 3. Personally, I don't really know, but it just seems like these teams are able to adapt so well, and that's what I love to see, because that competition there is there. They have that fire that didn't seem to be there game one, so I love to see it present in game 2, and while they definitely take the L, now they're at match point. I'm excited to see what they bring out in game number 3 here, because not only were they able to defend, they were able to put more goals on net as well.
Well, as a player, all you can ask for is the ability to recognize where things need to be improved and then improving your performance as you go along. So, Mary Washington, if Maryville wins this, doesn't mean you necessarily had a bad game. You've been making improvements so far and, go forward in the season looking to improve even more.
Yeah, 100%. That's all I can ask for as a player is just the opportunity to show your stuff on the field and improve in the off time. Stealth elevates. Going to get an interesting little pinch of the sidewall there. Montu is going to take a touch into the corner. Knight elevated, looking to get a touch, wasn't able to do it. Calix might be looking for Knight to get an interesting angle shot, wasn't able to do it. Going to get another 50 with Montu. Stealth is going to win possession of the ball though here. Akari gets one touch at the midfield. Knight's going to take possession, opting to stick with it. Burns through a lot of boost there. Crazy's able to get the touch in the air. Bit of a double commit for Mary Washington. Montu not getting the touch, send it to the red corner here, looking to follow up the double there. Is able to get it. Knight was there just in time to get a touch and not get the follow up, but Knight doesn't have boost, doesn't need it though. Calix is up, touch on the backboard. Stealth is there, and even though Montu gets demoed, they had the right momentum and the correct position and get a save on that goal.
Akari gets a slight pop. It's going to head over toward the corner. Calix now having to go up against 2 Eagles. Place it around 1. Crazy gets the touch on it. Stealth is the backup to push it and center it. Passing it back over to Knight. He's not quite ready for the shot, however. They're just trying to keep it away from the Eagles. A minute into this game. Calix looking for a clear. Denied by Matudu. Pushed over to the corner by Stealth. Not going to let that hang-up develop into anything uglier.
So far, about a minute 30 into this. Akari getting a touch on Crazy. Crazy might have been looking for a shot there. Ultimately not going to get there. Akari with great recovery off the sidewall there. Crazy elevated, looking for the shot, is able to get it. And the shot down to get middle bins there. Mary Washington up 1-0 right now. Beautiful play.
There hasn't been a moment that I've seen Mary Washington that I think, that their mentals are slipping at all. I mean, they are in it till the very end, and got to commend them on that. I mean, look at Matudu with another shot on goal right off the kickoff. Hikari's going to try again. He gets demoed, but this is a lot of pressure and side control being brought back by the Eagles onto the Saints. Stealth right now in midair is going to leave it for Knight. It's off the ceiling into the backboard. Oh, Knight with a very sneaky shot on goal. Just off the post, double commit on that save, credited to Matudu. Stealth now with another follow-up off the crossbar. Calix again. Matudu is right there with another save. Hikari and Crazy both jump up. Mary Washington doing everything they can to try to hang on to this lead, and they're hanging on to it, but just by the skin of their teeth, and their luck is going to run out as Stealth with one more follow-up, one more play, and one more goal that Mary Washington has to deal with. Matudu just too far back on that rotation. Well, like I said, Mary Washington gets a little bit of momentum. Maryville puts them right back to a tie.
And I don't think they should have expected Maryville to take this down, to take it laying down. They're definitely going to retaliate a little bit, but Mary Washington put another shot on net very quickly. Calix got the ball stolen away from them, but is going to recontest it quickly. Has enough boost to keep it going just for a little bit, though. Gets a touch in the midfield, looking for a teammate, not able to do it. Kari was there to get a touch. Montu's going to take over. Stealth now slowing down the ball. Looking for a pinch. Crazy's going to get a great interrupt there. Calix now with a bit of boost here. Could be looking for a teammate in the midfield. Gets it there. Knight with the pre-jump. Not going to align. Stars weren't quite in their favor. Akari now sending the ball towards the backboard. Stealth is going to get a touch. Send it to the corner right there. Matu sticking with the ball, trying to contest. Stealth is going to get one over them. Akari's there to quickly recontest it, though. Being a bit of an annoyance in this corner here. Knight's going to send the ball back to the other side of the corner here. Matu to get 50 on the sidewall. Calix now back up, sends the ball to the middle. Stealth's lying there waiting, not able to get the shot on net, though. Now it's up to Crazy and their possession, looking for another opportunity. Matu's going to take a shot, but it's going to be saved out by Stealth.
Shot back over toward Crazy, pass to Hikari, not going to let it go past midfield. Calix now takes the ball, has the wall, and Stealth is up there, but Matudu, isn't able to get a touch. That leaves it up to Crazy Knight. His shot is just going to be deflected off to the side. Still tied up with 1.5 minutes to go. Knight with another shot, and Mary Washington lets that one slip by. Maryville in the lead.
If there's one thing that I've expressed this so many times in the past, that I love a team that is able to pass to each other and connect so oftentimes with the pitch. And that's exactly what I see Maryville doing so often. Not a lot of solo shots, but just so many team passes. And I'm a sucker for it, so I love to see it. But Akari takes a shot on net right off the kickoff. Calix is going to be there to get the save. Knight with a bit of an air dribble. Crazy going to get the 50. Matu takes the shot on net. Not powerful enough. Calix is going to be able to get the save. Akari now gets one soft touch. Gets the pass over Matu. Matu takes a shot, giving it possession a little bit. Stealth now gets a slight touch on the ball into the midfield. Matu elevates another shot. And Stealth, sitting on the backboard, was able to get the save. But Akari's not done yet. Gets another touch into the backboard. 47 seconds left.
Almost finding the equalizer. Mary Washington's going to have to be searching just a bit longer. Crazy, the shot over to Matudu. Can he continue on? They double commit on it. Hikari has to move back as Stealth now sees an open field before him. Ball's going to get played over him, however. We have 0.5 minutes left. Stealth takes the ball, plays it off the wall, leaves it for Knight, a pop up. They aren't playing this one fast. They're just making sure they keep it away from the Eagles.
Beautiful clear there. That's exactly what Maryville needs. We're leaving a little bit of pressure here. Akari trying to keep the ball alive. They're winding down to the last 8 seconds here. Now gets a touch in the midfield. A 50 is all they can hope for. Not able to get that. Calix down into the midfield here. Final second. Matu gets a touch. Stealth and Knight off of each other. Hikari's going to keep it alive, but nobody on the side of Mary Washington has the boost to do this. Crazy gets one touch, keeping the dream and the hope alive, but it cannot no longer. Maryville is going to take game number 3. And I believe that's also taking the series, unfortunately, for the side of Mary Washington.
Yeah, Maryville is going to keep their undefeated winning streak going along, but hey, the Eagles played their hearts out, and big shout out to them for doing that. We also want to give a shout out to our supporters of NACE, our various sponsors helping us bring this fall season to you. We want to give a shout out to Truth, the largest nonprofit health organization dedicated to a future where tobacco and nicotine use is a thing of the past. To find out about the effects of vaping on mental health, you can go to breathofstressair.com. That's going to do it for this match. Pretty quick fashion for Maryville. And of course, team pulls out a win that fast. We have plenty of time to talk with the team afterwards. So we're going to set up an interview with Calix from Maryville, see how that win went through. And then we'll be back after a few minutes with him. Exciting is the fact that NACE has been matching Division I schools up against Division I schools, so we're getting a lot more exciting, close gameplay in this premier.
It's going to work out. Matu got a touch onto the side. Oh, and a shot on net by Crazy. He's going to barely elude the Maryville defender. For the Saints, Knight goes up, gets one touch. Calix goes up, gets the pass over Stealth. Stealth tries to get a pre-flip. Even though Stealth is not able to get the pre-flip touch, nevertheless, the ball goes in the back of the net. Now up 4-1, I believe.
Hikari read it, and he was racing as fast as he could. And to try to hang on to this lead, and they're hanging on to it, but just by the skin of their teeth, and their luck is going to run out as Stealth with one more follow-up, one more play, and one more goal that Mary Washington has to deal with. Tudu just too far back on that rotation. Well, left in game 2. Tudu trying to push it around the corner. Tries to push it. Crazy finds the goal. toward shot over towards Stealth, finds the shot on goal, and Akari gets another save. Shot over towards Stealth, finds the shot on goal, and Akari gets another save.
One touch, Knight now up, looking for the air dribble, gets the flip reset. College
Trying to push it around the corner, tries to push it. Welcome back to the NACE Starleague studio. We just saw Maryville pick up a 3-0 sweep in their most recent game. When I'm talking about we just saw it, I mean me, Jacob Palmer, and Colin Majunkin joining by my side. And we are also here with Calix from Maryville. We wanted to discuss the performance that we saw from them, overall what their plans are going forward for the season. Always like to check in with a player fresh off a victory, and there he is right now. Calix, thank you so much for joining us. And Calix has been a part of a team that has gotten so many victories and is looking really good in the season thus far. We're going to be wanting to talk to him about just, where the sights are set forward. What are the goals for Maryville, really, that are for you? Are you looking at a NACE championship, CRL?
Hell yeah. The goal for Maryville is definitely win NACE. We're also really looking forward to hopefully play on LAN again, because just the LAN feeling in general is always much greater than just playing online from your own house, right? So that would be great.
Yeah, love to hear it. The one thing I noticed your team does really well, just in that game, just in that series alone, you guys pass a lot. Is that just sort of a chemistry thing you guys have built up, or is that a really strong communication thing over the course of being teammates?
Well, for that, I gotta say it's always easier to pass if your opponents aren't that good at the game. So I think we just capitalized on that for that series. I think against teams like Northwood, for example, it's gonna be a bit harder. It's probably gonna have to be a bit more solo plays. But yeah, for this series, we just wanted to pass, just wanted to have fun, and yeah, just wanted to win the game with crazy passing plays, I suppose.
All right, we'll move on and just ask this final question. We want to know, hypothetically, in a matchup, who do you think would win? Would it be Doc or Clerky?
Ooh. It's gonna have to be Clerke. Like, let's be honest. He's so buff. I'm pretty sure he can bench like 400 pounds. So yeah, there's no way.
All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us. We wish you the best of luck going forward in your season. Congrats on your victory. And that's going to do it for our second match. But we have just one more left. We have got a redemption match, if you will, with two teams that haven't had the best of luck starting out this season, but we'll take a short break and be back to that. You do not want to miss this match, because this is going to be a team's redemption coming up here. We'll take a short break, though, then be back with Game 3, the final one of the night.
our coverage of NACE Starleague for Rocket League, and thank you for joining us here at the NACE Starleague studios. So far, we have had 4 teams battle it out. We had Michigan Tech take on LeBlanc Christian University. Christian University ended up winning out 0-3, and then we also had UMW Esports take on Maryville, and Maryville was victorious. I am now your host, Artemis Rain, and joining me here still is Colin Majunkin. Now, we have an opportunity for 2 teams, as Jacob set it up so nicely, an opportunity of redemption. We don't call it second chances. It's a redemption opportunity now. As we're about to head into our 3rd matchup, we can take a quick look at these, all of the teams that played today here behind us on this lovely screen. As I mentioned, we had Michigan Tech take on LeBlanc Christian University, and LeBlanc ended up winning out 0-3. And in the match you just casted, we had Mary Washington taking on Maryville. Maryville was victorious in an 0-3 sweep. Now we get to where things get complicated. BSU, Boise State, is currently 1-2, whereas the side of Southern Mississippi, they are currently 0-2. Both these teams are hanging on by a thread, trying to get themselves a little bit further. BSU is already out of the running for the playoffs, has to look at LCQ, so now is the opportunity for them to start making a comeback and just making their stats a little bit better. However, Southern Mississippi, desperate to make sure they get their first win in the back pocket, is going to be playing to their absolute best today.
Oh yeah, going 0-3 is never the situation you want right now, and especially when you start talking about the specifics of sort of the news that sort of breaks with Boise State having gone 1-2. They're already sort of in the last chance qualifiers sort of bracket, so they're already building that out and so early into the NACE league. So I'm pretty sure it's on Southern Miss's radar to not lose this game. They do not want to drop it.
Well, for the side of Boise State, we're going to have Gil, Woozy, and Preston rounding out that 3-man squad.
And for the side of Southern Miss, it is Tech Deck Board, I believe. I'm just going to shorten that to Tech if you're in the game. Ooh, on that second one.
Broski.
What was that?
Broski.
Yeah, we'll go with Broski, and then Closure, and then Night Towel. I believe is what that is. We'll get a better pronunciation
It's Night
check.
Owl, but do you know what a tech deck is?
You know, I feel like I should, but I'm going to go no because I want to learn.
Jacob's at least raising his hand off screen. I don't know if I'm about to actually age myself here, but tech decks were little mini skateboards that you could play with.
Yeah. I used to never do the name. I just call them mini skateboards. That's what I did.
Yes, those are tech decks for anyone who's unfamiliar, and yes, I was born in the 90s. With that being said, we can get geared up and excited and ready for this best of 5 series. Is it actually going to be our first game today to go all 5? Typically, as we get closer to the end of the evening, and this is our last match of the day, teams do tend to perform a little bit longer and manage to make it out for the long hauls. Reverse sweeps start to happen at the midway point, so let's see if we can actually have this one go all 5. I'm not sure if your voice can handle it, but I'm going to push you to your limit today and say we should go all 5.
You know, it's actually, I have a little bit opposite opinion so far. I think we're on the trend of 0-3s. I think we're going to stick on that trend. I think we're like 1 week too short from those reverse sweeps that you're talking about. I think this weird middle ground of like 3 and 4, like this, still getting into this 0-3 territory. And then I think once you start covering those late week 6, 7, 8 games, that's when we'll start being, hey, we're facing like 1 and 2 are going at each other. That's going to be a series for us to watch.
I don't know. All of that evidence kind of more just sounded like he's trying to back up an argument that isn't the strongest. So I'm just going to put that one out there.
It is opinionated. I have no facts to back it. It's opinionated.
There we go. Mine's opinionated as well. I mean, I would love to see a full 5-game series. We have yet to have one this evening, but ultimately it's going to be up to the performance of both of these teams and all 7 players. I don't know if we're going to get to see all 7. We've had multiple teams come in with a 4-man roster, and at the end of the day, we've still only seen 3 players of those rosters. And if you're that 4th man that's on the bench, well, you're the designated cheerleader for the day. You get to sit back, relax, and make fun of your teammates when they mess up. With that being said, let's hope that both these teams mess up very little going into this first game. As we're about to drop down onto the pitch, Broncos versus Southern Mississippi Esports.
The new portal entrance going into it. Getting a bit of fly view about the arena that we are checking out. This really is a game that, I mean, first I'm excited about because it's so much. These past 2 previous series that we've covered have been one of those ones of. I mean, the first one was a series where I'm actually forgetting, but they both those teams wanted the series W so bad because it improved the record so dramatically much. it just really helps out in the end. Like you guys talked about at the beginning of the broadcast, these early W's are so important. We almost underestimated the importance of them a little bit. But as we get into the game right now, starting off at this 10-minute mark, Southern Miss, if our UI is not completely wrong, I believe it might be. We'll have to see if we corrected there a bit.
We are at least 2 minutes in, and it looks like we're going to hop back out. But yeah, I want to touch back on what you were talking about earlier, and that is the importance of these early wins. However, there's a double-edged sword, because when you put this pressure on yourself to be like, we have to go undefeated, which, yes, early on we were painted the importance of not being undefeated is not the end-all be-all of everything. You don't have to get a perfect score every single time. I mean, the end of the day, you could still score 95 on a quiz and get an A. But if you're dropping down into the 60s, you're going to start getting a D. And with that being said, that is the report card of the current players in this match. We'll have to see if they are able to rectify the situation, go get some extra credit, and fix those grades. Because, you're going to have to start going to get extra credit, and that extra credit comes in the form of last chance qualifier. I've never really had a teacher that gives a good amount of extra credit in an easy way. Have you?
No, I have not, and I love that you touch on that topic, because LCQ is going to be it's like a dogfight. It's just a continuous scrappy fight that you have to go through, because you're going to go round after round going with the team that is statistically just as good as you. Maybe round 1 or 2, it's a little bit a big disparity, but once you start getting into like the quarters and the semis and the finals of LCQ, you start going to the teams that just want just as bad as you, and wow, honestly, I feel like, I don't know how many people would attest to this, but it's always felt like for me, LCQs have been like those dogfights that just feel more intense than when you get back into the grand finals. It's just, it feels like way more is riding on the line.
Well, LCQ, there's no safety net beneath you. Whereas, like, if you make it to the playoffs, you have a level of safety net. But additionally, when you go from LCQ into the playoff phase with the rest of the league, the next big battle starts to happen, because due to your stats, due to your ranking, you're always going to be pinned up against the best team. Lowest seed versus the highest seed. There is no room for breathing. You have to give it 110% every single game. And if playoffs all line up where it's, multiple games a day, you're going to be pretty exhausted.
Oh yeah, and I mean, that's honestly, it is one of those brutalized things, right? To think of, that 1 seed, if they get dropped, is going to go face poor little 16 seed. But it kind of makes for the perfect story setup as well. It doesn't happen often, not often at all, but it does happen to where that 16 seed may end up getting upset after upset after upset after upset, and they may end up taking the whole grand finale. I think it's happened twice in RLCS. Off the top of my brain, off the top of the dome, I know it's happened at least a couple times at a fall split, but I think in RLCS it's happened twice. I could be completely and utterly wrong, but
Similar events did just happen in the CSGO Grand Finals, so it is possible. However, the odds of it happening in Rocket League, I feel like, are a little bit different.
Oh yeah.
Rocket League is definitely a game where you spend hours upon hours upon hours getting your skills up, getting to this level of gameplay, and so it's about how much dedication one player has put in over the other player. Because yeah, you can be a little bit naturally gifted at Rocket League, but let's be honest, it takes at least 1,000 hours before someone can say, yeah, I am comfortable at playing Rocket League. I am decent at playing Rocket League. And then it's those players that put in the extra hours past that start to go above and beyond and actually be more successful in these matches. It does start to show when we get more towards, the end of the season where a player hasn't touched the game in a week because, well, homework caught up to you or it's time for finals. And so it's about balancing how much Rocket League you can play versus how much homework you're willing and able to get done in that same time period, and losing a lot of sleep if you're most esports players.
It's sort of, I feel like a broken record a little bit here, but it is that dogfight. And so much of Rocket League, and so much of honestly every top tier level of esport is down to the tiniest details. If you're out of position, if you don't rotate right, if you use your abilities wrong, if Valorant, I'm guessing what's the one for Valorant? I guess the simplest thing I can think of is like not clicking the heads right or not making the correct call out. So much of that top tier plays down to the tiniest of details, and I know at least for Rocket League, from game to game, it feels so dramatically different each time you play a different series.
It's all about the size of the dog that you have in you. How much is that dog willing to fight? I'm using that terminology because that is apparently the way that a lot of my esports friends have decided to designate their willingness to improve, go up against people that are absolutely horrifying to play against. How big is the dog that you have? Well, we'll have to wait and see. Can both these teams post up and get ready for this dogfight that's about to ensue? As we mentioned, Southern Mississippi 0-2 currently. Boise State 1-2. Not great records. Both looking to start their redemption arcs here.
So, Preston now off the backboard looking for a double. Isn't able to do it. Closure was able to play good backboard defense there. Able to stall it out. Tech Deck gets a boom into midfield. Woozy gonna play it off to the side. Preston there to pick it up. Booms it up in there. Gill is up as well. Gets a shot at the backboard. Woozy's waiting. Tries to get a shot on net. The backboard defense from Tech Deck is there as well. Preston's gonna make a cut. Tech Deck's also gonna enter their 50 all over the field right now. Currently just all over the ball right now. Also gonna steal a 50. Attempt to put a shot on net. Not able to do it. Woozy's gonna take possession of the ball. Attempt to get a flick. Not able to do too much as Tech Deck's now going to take possession.
Tech Deck in the air. Preston elevates for disruption. Gill from the back goal line. Give and go to Woozy. Pinches it down. There's two defenders in the way. It's a save for Tech Deck. Looks like Sir Jim the 69th is going to bring the ball across the midfield stripe. Tech Deck and Woozy will both elevate, sending the ball into the defensive third for Southern Miss. We are just past the 1 minute mark and no team has found a goal just yet. Preston passes to Gill. Gill off the back wall. Is the follow-up from mid going to make it in time? Woozy has to race back towards the back wall. Battle it out against Sir Jim. It's going to be Gill to send it to midfield. Preston's there. Preston to Gill. Gill pops it up. Elevation from Woozy. Does not make contact. Defense manages to gain possession. It's going to be Sir Jin bringing the ball to midfield, disrupted by Preston. In the corner, Woozy plays it out. Ends up going back to midfield from Tech Deck. Now it's going to be a battle for possession at midfield as the ball drops down from the ceiling. Gill is demoed. Woozy sends the ball to mid. Preston elevates, brings it down. It's a 2-on-1. Tech Deck will make the save, but Gill is at mid to reset the play for the Broncos.
Preston trying to get a pass to Woozy. Woozy off the crossbar right there. Not able to get in the back of the net. Closure going to get a soft touch out to Synergist. Now take a shot on net. Tech Deck was trying to get a touch on it. Preston now maintaining control into the side. Woozy to take over the ball. Now continuing off the Preston off the sidewall. Sir is going to get a bit of 50. Tech Deck now off the sidewall. Woozy going to take control of the ball. Looking to maintain possession into the corner. Closure now getting a pinch into the midfield. Tech Deck. I'm just gonna go with Tech. That's a little bit shorter. Gill's gonna get the 50 play. Closure's gonna let the play pass them. Sir's gonna pick up on the corner. I'm gonna touch Woozy, goes to the contest, not able to quite get it. Now Gill faking, taking it to the sidewall here. Preston's the one to challenge, gonna get the beat. Trying to stick with it off the sidewall. Closure, get into the midfield. Sir might be looking for a shot, only able to get a soft touch. Preston gonna make a bit of rotate there. Woozy has a little bit of boost to get this going. Gill's gonna take a shot, but Closure should be able to get saved. They are. Now it's up to Preston. Preston getting one, keeping the midfield here, going for their flip reset. Gets it under Tech, actually getting it over. Sir's gonna get a boom clear. Woozy's gonna be the one to pick it up. Attempt to get it around the offense. Is gonna get a 50. Send it over to the other side of the blue defensive side.
Closure pops the ball to Sir Jin. Sir Jin tries to dunk it down. It goes to Gill. Tech Deck pops the ball up. Preston elevates into the corner. Closure with possession, sends it out for a moment. Still in the defensive third for Southern Miss. Ball at midfield stripe. Tech Deck goes for the attack against Woozy. Woozy pops it up to Preston. Preston down to Woozy. Woozy with the shot. Sir will make the save, send it to the corner. Gill goes to play disruption. It's going to be sent back to midfield. Woozy grabs the boost, plays it around two, has one to beat. It's going to be Sir who sends it back to midfield stripe. Preston drops it down. Tech Deck sends it to the midfield. Woozy with possession. Looks for the flip reset, can't make contact, leaves it for Gill. Gill with the shot, hits the top crossbar. Elevation from Sir and Preston. Preston dunks it down. Unfortunately, the angle was too wide. Gill, once again, resets the play off the backboard. Woozy with the touch, flicks it up. High right, Preston with another touch. Not enough forward pressure is happening from the Broncos. They can't get the angle right. Preston has to reset the play. It goes to Gill. Shot on is going to be saved by Sir. Ball has yet to leave this defensive third as we have Woozy going for yet another attack on the goal. Cannot find the back of the net. Gill resets the play off the top crossbar. A pinch from the corner. Does not go in. Sir loses possession. Woozy cuts in, takes the shot. Tech Deck It's going to reset as Closure pushes forward into the defensive third from Boise State.
That was going to be a solid, like 40 seconds of continuous pressure from the side of Boise State right there. Woozy's now up, looking for the double. Nobody on the backboard, gets a touchdown. It goes a bit wide, not able to find the back of the net. Gill is to take over, winding down to the final couple of seconds, still sitting at a 0-0 scoreline right now. The back pass over to Woozy. Woozy's going to get the touch off of Sir. Closure trying to pick it up. Woozy is not going to be able to make the read off of Sir's missed touch, though. We are now in Game 1 OT. After nobody scoring for straight 5 minutes, Tech now attempting to stick with the ball after an air dribble. Preston gonna win the 50 there. Gill elevates as well, takes a shot on net, off the crossbar for like the 3rd time in a row that has happened.
Come on, Woozy!
Woozy takes a shot, puts it right on Closure's car. Preston now on the rotate back. Gill to get a touch off the backboard. Closure now to take it up with it. Woozy off the sidewall, trying to stick with it. Tech elevates, is able to get a touch, but not able to do too much after Preston faking out Sir, now taking possession over to the sidewall. Looking for a solo play, gets the missed touch. It's going to be Closure to stick with it though. Woozy now as the back defensive third, has to play the 50, is able to do it. The pass perfectly goes over to Preston off the sidewall. Preston now onto the backboard. Sir is able to get a clear into the midfield. It's Gill's possession. Gill takes a pinch shot off of it. Is going to get the perfect read off the sidewall. The pressure in Boise State right now has pretty much been insane, and Southern Miss's defense has been unrelenting right now. Preston attempts to take a shot, not able to get it. Gill gets bumped off the ball by Closure, and Closure still sticking with it. Preston trying to get the read onto the backboard, is able to do it, keeps it to the other sidewall. Gill now trying to get the clear over. Closure takes a shot, and Woozy elevates to play a bit of defense off the backboard.
It's going to be Preston popping the ball at the midfield stripe. Tech waits, gains possession. There's a demo onto Preston. Defense is down for Boise State. This is an opportunity for Southern Miss. Gill tries to gain possession of the ball. Woozy cuts in, seeing Gill with pressure. Takes a double touch off the back wall. Woozy shot is saved by Sir Jin. Gill comes in at the last second, dunks it down. That is the golden goal for Boise State.
About like 6 minutes of straight, just scorelessness of 0-0. Nothing but unrelentingness between both these teams. And like I said, Boise State's pressure was really phenomenal there. Like, they put shot after shot, and quite honestly, I think it was a result of them crossbarring 3 different times. And I believe there was one shot as well that got put on Closure. It just like open net, 80% of the goal, open, puts it unfortunately right on top of Closure. And it was just all this offense. And Southern Miss unrelenting with it as well, just save after save after save. And I think it was a little bit of Boise State shooting themselves in the foot, 3 of those crossbars, but at the end of the day, it still ends up being a 1-goal game. And that's not to say Southern Miss didn't put any pressure on Boise State's net, because they certainly did. And I don't know how else to categorize that game besides just madness.
I mean, it was a little bit crazy, but a lot of the Broncos shots were not good shots, being completely transparent. And Southern Miss, their reaction play and prediction of where they thought the Broncos were going to go, what the Broncos wanted to do, they were fabulous. They stopped a disgusting amount of shots made by the Broncos. Like I said, even though they were not quality shots, there were still quite a few taken. Ole Miss, now after maybe receiving this, minute and a half of breathing room, will be able to put themselves on the attack this time instead of having to play chronic defense and trying to convert that into goal-scoring opportunities. Finding those breakaways is hard, especially when they're getting boost starved, which was happening quite a bit.
Yeah, make sure to keep an eye a little bit on that right side of the screen, showing both those teams. Preston now keeping control here, gets a touch in the midfield here. Tech's going to take a shot on that. Gill's going to be the one to save it, send it off to the corner there. Woozy still trying to stick with the ball. Closure now gets the self-touch over to the own corner. Preston's going to get a read, takes a shot right back to the midfield here. Was more like a pass. Gill attempted to get the dunk off, was not able to do it. Now Preston trying to get the read off the ceiling. Is able to get one touch now, trying to get the third off the sidewall. Was able to do it, but not strong enough for a pass nor a shot there. Tech is going to be able to get the flick over. I believe that was Woozy. Now down trying to get a pass. Preston was playing that backboard defense. Woozy elevates, trying to get a read. Not able to quite do too much. Sir gets one touch, is dangerous spot though. Gill takes the shot off the wheels, not strong enough. Preston still sticking with this, gives possession over to Woozy. Woozy into midfield to Gill. Gill will take a shot. Woozy trying to pick up the synergy as well. Not able to get a touch. Closure now up to this, gets a beautiful 50 win. Trying to take a shot on net. Gill is playing back post. Was able to get the touch. Sir now trying to get something to happen into midfield. Not able to get it done. Press on the sidewall. Gets one soft touch now. Possibly looking for Woozy in the midfield. Wasn't able to get a quality pass, but Woozy was there nonetheless to recover. Gil trying to beat out 2 of the Southern Miss defenders. There was a shot potential by Woozy.
Wait!
I have to see replay. I have no idea what happened.
Hang on. Southern Miss, I think this is the first time.
That's the first time I've seen a double commit by Southern Miss.
Yeah. They're not going to make that mistake twice.
Oh,
I can
yeah.
tell you that now.
Yeah.
They saw it in the replay. There was the double commit. They're like, nope, we have to call it. Make sure that doesn't happen. Kickoff is actually going to favor Southern Miss. Looks like Tech from midfield is going to look for an opening opportunity. Sends it into the corner a little too far as Gil is able to make contact. Tech and Gil battling out for possession. Closure is going to elevate, steal the ball away from Gil. Preston goes backwards, makes contact above the Bronco net. Sends it over to a teammate. It's going to be Closure, playing it off the wall, possibly looking to do a self-give and go off the wall. Instead, it's Tech to come in. Woozy tries to disrupt. Tech circumvents Woozy's attempt. Ball is in the corner for Boise State's defensive third. Shot on goal is going to be coming in from Surgeon, but it's stopped by the defense. Surgeon again has an opportunity, leads it for Tech. Tech has the ball stolen away by Preston. Preston booped away out of the play. Gil is going to leave the ball for Woozy. He's bringing it up the side, has to get it past Tech. Tech cuts in, steals it. Gil recognizes the loss from the teammate, comes in and takes the shot. The defender from the right post, barely not on target to make the save.
Really good shot out there by Gil, finds the perfect opportunity. A lot of the times those passes off the sidewall are either going to be perfect for your teammates or going to bite you and end up putting a goal on your own net. Gil takes a really powerful shot, puts in the back of it. Oh, and now they're going for a bit of a Spanish now. Woozy gets possession, gets 100 boosts, now looking for something up the ceiling. Not able to put the shot on target though, is going to keep it going, keep it alive. Gil now probably trying to find somebody off the backboard. The pass or the solo shot was not strong enough. Bit of a double commit, the pass in the midfield. Woozy's there to disrupt. Tech is also looking for the rotate. Woozy gets one touch, gets a demo, might be looking for a shot. It's a bit wide on the semi-open net. Now Gil into the midfield here. Syke going for the solo play pass into the midfield. Woozy elevates, gets one touch. Sir is now off the sidewall, gets one. Now trying to stick with it. Isn't able to get the second touch. Preston fakes out Gil a little bit. Tech there to win the 50. Sends it back though for a little bit of self-pass. Closure now trying to desperately get back in time. A bit of a double commit from the side of Boise State. Could be dangerous. One from Southern Miss as well. A lot of confusion happened in midfield. Sir to take a shot on net. Gil gets the save. That's the third of the game for Gil. Woozy trying to get it past Closure on the sidewall. Not able to quite do it. Gil to make one more touch into midfield. Going to be stopped out by Tech. Now Gil into the left side of the midfield. Woozy trying to make a start play happen here. Now at the sidewall, a passing attempt was there. But a little power of friendship from Southern Miss is going to make it happen. Now minute 28 left with Boise State still leading 2-0.
Woozy in the air, elevation from Closure wasn't high enough. Out of the corner, Gil to Woozy. Woozy shots too wide. Tech pushing forward as Sir takes down Woozy. The offense is weakened from Boise State. This is an opportunity for Southern Miss to find their kill shot, but unfortunately one is demoed at midfield. Stripe. Closure is gone at respawn. Ball takes a bounce off the goal line and into the net.
Nasty double touch from the side of Woozy right there, completely uncontested. Actually, I think, I can't really see it in the replay though, but I'm pretty sure Gil got a bump there, which is absolutely nasty if Gil ended up doing that, and that puts Boise State up 3-0 with a minute 6 seconds left in this game number 2. 3 goals is really difficult to recover to, and especially when you're down 3, quite honestly, with a minute left, sub-minute now. Woozy now trying to contest Tech, is able to do it. Are they able to make the read off the ceiling? They are able to make the pinch, but once again, the shot's a bit too wide. Gil may have an opportunity to the shot. Sir is able to get a beautiful save, read that correctly. Closure to get one more touch off the ceiling. Gil able to position themselves to get a dunk, but there was another recovery touch there. Tech takes a shot, and the scattered Boise defense is not able to rally enough.
Southern Miss used to do that 2 more times. There's very little time left on that clock. However, we've seen more goals scored in less time before. Can Southern Miss lay the gauntlet down on the pitch here and equalize the score of the series? Kickoff, fake out from Woozy, left it for Preston. Ball ends up in the defensive third for Southern Miss. Elevation from Gil, sends it to Woozy, dunks it down. Closure capitalizes on the lack of possession from the Broncos. Woozy boops Closure out of the way. Ball in the back defensive third. Gil to Woozy off the wall. Woozy to the back wall in Southern Miss territory. Backboard defense is theirs. Woozy gets demoed. Give and go in the air for Southern Miss. Stopped by Preston on the ground. 9 seconds remain. The overcommitment from Southern Miss might be punished. It is. I mean, when you've got less than 10 seconds on the board, there is a goal gap that you're trying to close with just a little bit. Overcommitment is bound to happen. You have to give it all, everything you have in those final seconds. Either you found a goal or the other team does, or no one does. Those are the 3 outcomes in that instance.
Getting to the final couple of seconds here. Preston get 1 touch. Peck to get 1 more, try and keep it alive. Sir now trying to do the same. Gill fakes the attempt to keep it alive. It's been a tradition to keep it up at 0 seconds. Adds a little bit of disrespect, but you know, it's competition. You got to keep it alive.
Brosio went with the photo up there. Of course, he's going to be throwing down disrespect like that. I hope that throws bad juju your way now, Gil. You don't do that. It's like breaking a rule 1. You don't do that.
Not as severe. When we talk tier list of things to not break, you know, like rule 1 is up there.
Yeah, this is like the number 1.
Yeah, this is like the number 1. So broken number 2 rule. We'll end up seeing how it goes to the side of Boise, but up 2 games, not match point here. Southern Miss did show a bit of retaliation at the very end of that game. They were able to find 1. They were finally able to get 1 from a scattered Boise defense, and that was after Gil got a dunk. Then its second teammate from Southern Miss was finally in the correct position to get a boom clear and find a bit of an opening. And that may just be what Southern Miss has to do to keep finding these goals after goals against Boise State and not really let Boise State get this momentum game that is so deadly in Rocket League. And we see a lot more of those solo plays happening compared to a lot more of this team passing than we saw from Maryville going against Mary University. But going into game 3, now match point, Gil getting the quick reset off the ceiling, wasn't able to get low enough. Now Preston going for the double here, isn't able to find the touch they're looking for. Ball to find themselves in the middle. Woozy over to Gil. Gil now over to Woozy, trying to get a passing play. Just a bit too difficult, not enough speed on the play to get it happening, but now Preston gets a pinch on the sidewall, trying to get over Woozy. It's now Sir with a bit of a carry, trying to find in the back of a blue net. Closure. Find themselves all the way on the blue side here, but Woozy's gonna get a touch on the sidewall. It's not Sir. Sir gets 1 touch, actually with the back of their wheels, unfortunately. Preston now has control on the sidewall here, finding Woozy in the midfield. Woozy's gonna get a soft touch, try and maintain possession. They're closer to get the touch they're looking for, and is not able to get the clear, and Woozy was playing for the miss, and that worked out perfectly for him.
So you had Closure elevate, makes a rolling touch. Woozy comes in, so we can see Sir also trying to rotate into that back post position. The rotations were there, just a little bit slower than they needed to be for Southern Miss. The Broncos like to move really fast. While it can throw some teams off kilter, it can also be their own Achilles heel. Southern Miss needs to play to their strengths, find these holes and openings that the Broncos leave as Closure pops the ball up off of Woozy's shot. It's going to be Sir bringing it down to midfield. Gil was waiting, centers it up to a teammate. Looks like it was intended for Woozy, but Tech came in first, and Sir will find Preston. This is the opportunity to find the clear here, as there's a double commit from the Broncos on their attack. Tech capitalizes on the lack of pressure, brings it to midfield. Preston cuts in on the pass, sending it back to the backboard, takes the touch off the back wall. It hits the top crossbar, slowing down, losing that speed again. Closure elevates, plays it past Gil, but Preston cuts in at the last second. Those defenders are still in position, so Miss just needs to look for a chance to get them out of the way. Preston with the breakaway play, finding goal number 2 for the Broncos.
Gil finding the perfect defensive pass. Said it before, I'll say it again. Make your hellos goodbye, and this is exactly what the Broncos did on this side of it. Southern Miss, 2 shot opportunities that were really well executed. Unfortunately for them, the Bronco defense was pretty strong this time around. I did see one thing that I really like to see from Southern Miss. I want to see a little bit more is that demo side of it. They might find a little bit more pressure, but now Preston's up. Is going to be blocked out. The defensive backboard from Sir was there, not Closure possession of the ball. Trying to get a flick over Gil. Not able to quite do it though. But now Sir has it. Closure isn't able to grab the big boost though. Don't exactly need it. Now carrying the ball into midfield though. Gil's going to get a ground pinch with Sir. Woozy now take possession. Now looking for a play off the ceiling. Trying to find a teammate. Now they get the touch they're looking for though. Now press on the sidewall, looking for a double. Gets demoed nonetheless. Everyone's going to respawn back at the blue defensive side for side of Boise. Now Preston with the pass over to Woozy, carrying it all the way from basically 3/4 midfield, making plays happen. I believe that's Boise State now up 2-0. against Southern Miss. 3-0, sorry.
We still have 2.5 minutes remaining here in game number 3. That is plenty of time for any team to put 3 goals on the board. The issue is that the Broncos are just running at a speed that is hard to compensate for, and Sir Jin realizes that the best thing you can do in those instances is punish it by demoing them. It opens the field and gives you an opportunity to take a breath. However, Gil off of respawn tries to reset another play. Woozy took a shot, hit the top crossbar. We have Tech pop it up over Gil, but it goes to Preston, who read the pop. Now it's going to be sent over to Gil. Gil doesn't elevate high enough. Preston collides with one of the defenders. Closure going to be the one to steal that goal-scoring opportunity away. Ball from midfield stripe. We have Woozy come in and thwart Gil's attempt on the elevation. In the corner, it's Tech and Preston. Preston backing off elevation from 2 Broncos and 1 Southern Miss player. Thwarted by Southern Miss, sent across into the defensive third for the Broncos. Closure's going to get demoed. Preston bringing the ball, carrying it from the back wall, crossing midfield stripe to the other back wall. Closure reads it, dunks it down past Gil. Cannot beat Woozy, and Preston to possession in the Broncos defensive third. Closure tries to challenge Woozy, and it's ultimately going to be Sir, who ends up getting possession away, but the follow from Closure was just a little bit too late. Broncos have brought the ball back to the midfield stripe. Closure with possession, pops it up over 1. Popped it too high, and Preston manages to make contact, but it is not going to find the back of the net just yet. Closure again with another clear. Demo onto Tech. Southern Miss is down 2. Tech off respawn gets demoed. Closure is trying to play the keep away game as much as possible until their teammates make it back. Now Tech is alive. Ball crossing midfield. Gil gets demoed. Favor has been returned, but Preston has possession of the midfield stripe.
Tech with the boom off the ceiling, though. 2 Broncos elevate to try and get the defense a bit of an overcommit there. Tech now looking for a shot with the help of Closure. Closure's going to be the one to take the shot nonetheless. And now put Southern Miss on the board here. 1-2 though, but I believe it's still sub 40 seconds left. These goals are coming a little bit too last minute for the side of Southern Miss. It's getting dangerous for them. Once again, 46 seconds. This is match point for the side of Boise. They have the lead by 2. Tech up, or tries to get up, tries to get a touch though, not able to do it. Gil on the rotation back. President and Woozy double commit to that ball. Still to play it to their corner though. Woozy get a touch over 1. Closer trying to keep this ball in. Gil elevates, now to get 1 touch off the backboard. That could be dangerous. Preston's able to get the touch just in time. Now has a 100 boost. Looking for something to happen off the ceiling. Looking for the double. Interrupted by Tech. Gil has to play this 3rd man position. Going to challenge early. Get the touch. Bounce off the sidewall there. Now takes a touch off the ceiling. Woozy gets 1 to follow up. Now looking for the double. Able to get it. The flip reset was there. Not able to get it happening though. The final 8 seconds though. And Preston overplays it though. Closure might be looking for a pass to a teammate. Is able to get it mid, but Preston played it far out and was able to get the touch. Able to get the shot on net by Gil. Sir was able to get the last saving goal, but that doesn't matter as Boise State's going to end the game 3-1 and take game 3, therefore ending the series and finding that redemption game that we talked so much about early into this broadcast.
Question is, was it too little too late? We'll have to wait and see how the rest of the season shakes out for the Broncos, but nonetheless, congratulations, that is your 2nd victory. And before we close out this evening, of course, we get some insider information. We'll be able to have a quick interview with Gil, one of the Boise State players. But before we hop into that interview, we'll take a quick break, so don't go anywhere. We'll get to talk to Gil for a few minutes, and we'll see you here in, about 1.5 minutes, 2 minutes.
Not clicking the heads, right? We're not making the correct call out. So much of that top tier plays down to the tiniest of details, and I know at least for Rocket League, from game to game, it feels off the ceiling though. 2 Broncos elevate to try and get the defense a bit of an overcommit there. Tech now looking for a shot with the help of Closure. Closure's going to be the one to take the shot.
Gain possession of the ball. Woozy cuts in, seeing Gil with pressure. Takes a double touch off the back wall. Woozy's shot is saved by Sir Jin. Gil comes in at the last second, dunks it down. That is the golden goal for Boise State.
About like 6 minutes of straight, just scorelessness of 0-0, nothing but unrelenting on the ceiling. Gil able to position themselves to get a dunk, but there was another recovery touch there. Tech takes a shot, and the scattered Boise defense is not able to rally enough.
Southern Miss used to do that 2 more times. There's very little time left on that clock. However, we've seen more goals scored in less time before. Up the side, has to get it past Tech Deck. Tech Deck cuts in, steals it. Gil recognizes the loss from the teammate, comes in and takes the shot. The defender from the right post, barely not on target to make the save.
Really good shot out there by Gil, finding the perfect opportunity. A lot of the times those passes off the sidewall are either going to be perfect for teammates.
Those defenders are still in position, so Miss just needs to look for a chance to get them out of the way. Preston with the breakaway play, finding goal number 2 for the Broncos.
Gil finding the perfect defensive pass. Said it before, I'll say it again. Make your hellos goodbye. And this is exactly what the Broncos did on this side of it.
Sends the ball to mid. Sends the ball to mid. Preston elevates. All season, we just closed out our last series between Southern Miss and Boise State. Boise State ended up winning in a 3-0 victory. And to help celebrate that victory, we'll have a quick interview with one of the players, that player in particular being Gil, the one who broke what we consider the second sacred rule of Rocket League, so to speak.
Yeah, it depends. It goes by who you ask, who's really an OG or not. But yeah, but nevertheless, a sacred rule. We'll go by that.
So we'll hop into a quick interview with Gil after his victory. Hopefully he's feeling pumped. I mean, hey Gil, thank you so much for being here with us. Well, of course, Gil also earlier this week had to go into RLCS after having just an unfortunate series of events. Colin, you seem to be hanging your head a little bit low. You are one of our more attuned Rocket League experts when it comes to our Rocket League family. Can you kind of tell us what the Broncos have been going through over the course of this NACE Starleague and RLCS?
Well, yeah, NACE Starleague was a little bit of a troubling start, so to speak, and especially something from the director themselves, getting a bit of a personal side interview. I get a bit of a quote from them. But I believe that honestly was a fire that was lit underneath, because then they ended up going CRL quals and not ended up dropping an entire game. So
yes, CRL.
It's I don't even know how to really describe it. It's just a fire that gets lit underneath, and I would love to see the team just continue to go forward as use this momentum not only in NACE but also in CRL and every other tournament we find ourselves in, nonetheless.
All right, well, Gil, with that type of background information given, I gotta ask, if you had such a strong performance the other day, what was going on in game number 1?
We just we couldn't shoot. I think we hit the crossbar and post like 19 of our 20 shots, and they had a lot of saves. They had some good defense, but we figured it out. We didn't even figure it out. We just said to keep playing the same way, put some shots, or keep putting the shots on, and we'll be fine.
Going on to my question, I'm going to ask you, Gil. Going forward, I know it's been a bit of a roster change, right? You saw last year, you saw the introduction of Durtho. Now you see the introduction of 2 other new teammates. So personally, what has it been like for you for being such a long-standing Boise State Rocket League player, having seen and played with so many new people, and what that adjustment's really like?
Yeah, it's weird saying long-standing now. Feels like just yesterday I was a freshman, but no, they're great. Obviously, Doc in the recruiting process, he only brings in not just the best players, but also people. And it's been an incredible experience working with them over the summer and watching them absolutely destroy CRL yesterday.
I'd love to hear it.
All right, Gil, I'm going to get you out of here on this one because, of course, you are still a student and have homework to get done. But based off the performance that you had leading up to this point and now the turnaround that has happened with your team, what is your plan to go forward to continue to keep your performance at this level and continue to improve?
Just game by game. You know, you can't really think about the broad view of things. You can only control the games in front of you and who your next opponent is, and that's what we plan to do.
All right, well, thank you so much, Gil. I am going to remember that you broke the rule of not letting the ball touch the ground for as long as possible. Yeah, I see that smile. For as long as possible at the end of a match, but nonetheless, congratulations on your victory. Be sure to enjoy it for the next 24 hours and come back swinging for your next Rocket League match. But once again, thank you, Gil, and thank you to everyone who has been here with us throughout the evening. We had Jacob here in studio with us, and you had myself, Artie, as well as Colin here, calling all of the Rocket League action. Tomorrow we'll have some Overwatch action if you would like to tune in for that, and the day after it will be Valorant. So next Monday we'll have more Rocket League, of course, and we do want to give a special shout out to all of our sponsors who have helped make NACE Starleague come to life and be brought to you here on screen. That is Truth, Extra Life, Duncan, Monster, and Odyssey Elixir. Thank you so much to all of those sponsors. And here is a quick video from Truth as well as we sign out for the evening. Come back here tomorrow for some Overwatch action.
Breathe in and know that vaping nicotine can actually increase feelings of stress.
Yet some vape companies get rich telling you it's a stress reliever.
So let's call it what it is. It's a breath of stress air.
Recover. Gil trying to beat out 2 of the Southern Miss defenders. There was a shot potential by Woozy. I have to see replay. I have no idea what happened.
Hang on. Southern Miss, I think this is the first time.
That's the first time I've seen a double commit by Southern Miss.
Yeah. They're not going to make that mistake twice.
Kill shot, but unfortunately one is demoed at midfield. Strike closure is gone at respawn. Ball takes a bounce off the goal line and into the net.
Nasty double touch from the side of Wooz right there, completely uncontested. Actually, I think, I can't really see it in the replay though, but I'm pretty sure Gil got a bump there, which is absolutely nasty. Off the ceiling, Gil able to position himself to get a dunk, but there was another recovery touch there. Tech takes a shot, and the scattered Boise defense is not able to rally enough.
Southern Miss used to do that 2 more times. There's very little time left on that clock. However, we've seen more goals scored in less time before.
Finding Woozy in the midfield. Woozy's going to get a soft touch. Try and maintain possession. They're closer to get the touch they're looking for, and is not able to get the clear, and Woozy was playing for the miss, and that worked out perfectly for him.
So we had closure, elevate, makes a rolling touch. Woozy comes in. So we can see Sir also trying to rotate